Do you like movies? Like, really, really like movies? When was the last time you saw a movie in a theatre? One that you thought really meant something to you? One has to wonder if this is a meta piece of dialogue that Lindsay Lohan's character Tara puts to us in a film that explores toxicity in relationships, the struggle of millennials in LA, and the darker side of wealth. This is 2013's The Canyons. In The Canyons, Tara, Lindsay Lohan, and Christian, James Dean, nope, not that James Dean, are an affluent couple living in the Hollywood Hills. Christian is from a rich family and uses his wealth to produce schlocky movies, whilst Tara pitches in to assist now and then, but mostly does her own thing during the day. At night, things get a bit more erotic, with the couple inviting other people to their house for some steamy times. Christian also gets a kick out of the action by filming the encounters on his mobile phone. Much to the bemusement of Tara, Christian boasts about these encounters whilst out for drinks with his assistant Gina, Amanda Brooks, and her boyfriend Ryan, Nolan Gerard Funk. What Gina and Christian don't appear to realise is that Tara and Ryan are ex-lovers and have recently rekindled their affair. Christian is also seeing a young hot actress on the side, but unlike Tara, is giving him little satisfaction, and is most likely a result of the jealousy mixed with unbridled power and ownership he feels over Tara. He does not fully trust Tara and has her every move followed, and once he learns of her and Ryan's affair, begins a dark spiral of madness to ensure they are ruined. By 2013, the erotic thriller seemed like a relic genre that had fizzled out in the 90s after flops like Colour of Night and The Brilliant Showgirls. Director Paul Schrader, who is best known for directing Taxi Driver and American Gigolo, worked with the screenplay from acclaimed screenwriter and author Bret Easton Ellis, perhaps best known as the writer of American Psycho. The film was ultra low budget for Hollywood standards at $250,000. It was partly funded through a Kickstarter campaign, and all actors in the film, apart from Lohan and Dean, were cast through a social media casting site called Let It Cast, where actors were encouraged to film their own auditions from an available scene. Although Schrader had reluctance to cast Lindsay Lohan and James Dean as the leads, Lohan for her past and current troubles surrounding her addiction issues, and Dean for his past as a porn actor, their screen test proved to be successful, both displaying great acting ability and charisma to be Tara and Christian. For me, it's their performances that really make The Canyons worthwhile viewing. Lindsay Lohan commands the screen, perfectly encapsulating Ellis's script and bringing confidence, but also lots of vulnerability as Tara. She knows she is trapped in a toxic relationship and a lifestyle she can't back down for her own happiness, and Lohan's approach to Tara's naivety and eventually her tragic reality is played expertly by Lohan. It's a raw performance that we rarely get to see from her. As mentioned earlier, aspects of Bret Easton Ellis' screenplay feel incredibly meta. Tara explains to Christian that she prefers parts of her life remain private. Lohan delivers the line with such conviction that you wonder whether she is talking about herself or just fully immersed in her character, before Christian shuts her down immediately by exclaiming that nobody has a private life anymore. Definitely not a truer word spoken. As Christian, James Dean brings a surprisingly powerful screen presence and stoic cockiness to his performance. Christian is a privileged rich boy who needs total control in everything he does. The film's themes of toxic abuse and coercive control are manifested in Christian, and Dean's portrayal is a dangerous gaslighter ready to explode. Both Dean and Lohan have dynamite chemistry in their dialogue scenes and their erotic scenes. For how confident she appears in the film's raunchier scenes, Lohan was quite coy about disrobing in certain scenes. One involving a four-way with Dean and two additional porn actors playing another couple saw Lohan isolate herself in a cupboard after refusing to be nude for the scene. Director Paul Schrader convinced her to film the scene after over an hour of trying, outrageously disrobing himself and directing the scene completely nude to help Lohan be more comfortable performing the scene, which was done in one long take over 15 minutes. Lohan's reputation in Hollywood by 2013 was well documented, and similar behaviour behind the scenes of The Canyons kept the production on its toes. She would regularly arrive late to the set and was allegedly drunk in certain scenes from too much partying the night before. Lindsay had been in rehab for her addiction 5 times by this stage, and following the film's production went for a 6th. Paul Schrader was reportedly very disappointed with Lohan for not doing enough to help promote the film by making appearances during its festival run, with Lohan later proclaiming that she chose not to attend festivals as it would have placed her in a situation that compromised her sobriety. Such was Lohan's reputation at the time that French actor Leslie Couturand was paid to act as an on-call replacement for Tara throughout the production in case Lohan walked off the set. After its tumultuous and frugal production around LA, Hollywood and Malibu in 2012, a 144-minute cut of the film caused a disagreement between Schrader, Ellis and producer Braxton Pope. Writer Bret Easton Ellis was unhappy with the finished project, thought it dragged on and wasn't a true reflection of his writing. He was quoted as saying, "I saw this as a pranky, noirish thriller, but Schrader turned it into a Schrader film." Ellis later changed his tune, saying he now has a new appreciation for the film and Lohan's performance, and going on to state that he was very proud of the final product. After some early buzz for the film, including IndieWire naming The Canyons one of the 50 indie films to see in 2013, the film had a small release in North American cinemas in August 2013, and was released simultaneously on video-on-demand platforms, something quite rare for a theatrical film in 2013 that now in 2022 is becoming much more the norm. The Canyons even hints at the slow demise of cinema itself, with its eerie opening credits and scene breaks displaying old and empty abandoned cinemas. The Canyons made a worldwide box office of just over $265,000. Its video-on-demand financial figures are not publicly available, however Bret Easton Ellis claimed on his podcast that The Canyons was the #1 film on video-on-demand for distributor IFC released in 2013, and both he and Paul Schrader also stated that the film did make a healthy profit. Critical response was mostly negative, with many critics saying the film was merely a soap opera mixed with softcore porn. Despite some shortcomings and its troubled production, I have a personal appreciation for this film and what Paul Schrader managed to make on such a small budget. The production values are still for the most part pretty slick, and the performance by Lindsay Lohan is in my opinion one of her best, and the film is worth watching just for her and James Dean alone. So that was The Canyons. If you can find the movie, I know in Australia particularly, it's pretty difficult to find. Let me know what you thought of it. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Road to Nowhere Films for more content. And until next time, what's with all the dudes lately?